She is currently the Executive Director of the Institute of Indian Foundrymen, the leading national body of the foundry industry, overseeing 24 chapters and 4 centers of excellence. She also serves as the Editor-in-Chief of the Indian Foundry Journal. Her work emphasizes connecting rigorous academic research with industry practice, especially in international trade and market entry strategy. Dr. Acharyya Roychowdhury holds a doctoral degree in business management from the University of Calcutta, an MPhil in international trade from JNU, an MBA in marketing, and bachelor's degree in economics from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. Before joining IIF, she spent nearly 17 years at the Confederation of Indian Industry as Deputy Director, leading the Economic Research Cell for the Eastern region, where she contributed to key policy reports across sectors like finance, taxi, agriculture, and food processing. A prolific writer and expert in project management, Dr. Acharyya Roychowdhury actively promotes industry development through policy research, publications, and organizing high-level seminars and workshops, enhancing the global competitiveness of the Indian enterprises. We're truly honored to have you among us today, ma'am. I would like to welcome Professor Acharyya Roychowdhury on stage. I would like to request Professor Elizabeth Rose to felicitate Dr. Acharyya Roychowdhury with a memento and a bouquet. With great pleasure, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Amita Khurana, who is a distinguished commercial leader currently serving as the Group Chief of Raw Material Procurement at Tata Steel Limited. In this high-impact role, she carries the strategic responsibility for the entire raw material supply chain, supporting Tata Steel's global manufacturing footprint, including its primary sites in India, the Netherlands, and the United Kingdom. Her leadership is instrumental in navigating the complexities of global commodity markets to ensure operational continuity and cost efficiency for one of the world's most prominent steel producers. With a professional career spanning over 20 years, Ms. Khurana has cultivated deep expertise in commercial strategy, logistics, and large-scale procurement. She played a pivotal role in the successful integration of Tata Steel BSL Limited, formerly known as Bhushan Steel, as its Chief Procurement Officer following its landmark acquisition in 2018. A strong academic and professional foundation underpins Ms. Khurana's strategic acumen. She holds a master's degree in international business from the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, New Delhi, and is a qualified chartered financial analyst. She holds an advanced diploma in shipping from the Institute of Chartered Shipbrokers in London, a combination of credentials that enables her to bring a unique analytical and multidisciplinary perspective to global supply chain management. Ma'am, it is an honor to have you among us today. I would like to request ma'am to come on stage, and I would request Professor Elizabeth L. Rose to felicitate ma'am with a memento and a bouquet.
बोलना मैडम
Our next speaker for the session will be Ms. Juin Choudhury. Ms. Choudhury is a seasoned trade professional and leader who currently serves as the regional head for the Federation of Indian Export Organizations, Eastern Region. She is a central figure in trade promotion and facilitation, bridging the gap between Indian exporters, government bodies, and global market opportunities. Since February 2025, she has also taken on the critical role of India focal point and coordinator for the She Trades India Hub, where she spearheads initiatives to support and empower women entrepreneurs in the international trade landscape. Throughout her tenure, Ms. Choudhury has been instrumental in boosting exports from Eastern India through dedicated trade facilitation and participation in high-level discussions, including those concerning the India-UK Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. Her expertise lies in navigating complex trade regulations and connecting businesses with the resources necessary for global expansion. Her professional background is supported by a strong academic foundation, including a master's degree in public administration from Indira Gandhi National Open University and a postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication from the University of Calcutta. This combination of communication expertise and administrative insights allows her to effectively advocate for the industry and lead regional trade development with strategic clarity. We are honored to have you among us today, ma'am. I would request Professor Elizabeth Rose to felicitate ma'am with a bouquet and a memento. The next speaker of this exciting session will be Dr. Mo Sen, who is a highly accomplished technocrat and administrator currently serving as Joint Director for the Department of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises and Textiles, Government of West Bengal. With a career spanning over 21 years across industry, R&D and governance, she has become a pivotal figure in the development of the MSME sector in Eastern India. Her leadership is defined by a unique blend of scientific rigor and administrative excellence, having secured the first rank in the West Bengal Public Service Commission entrance examination. Throughout her 11-year tenure with the state government, Dr. Sen has played a transformative role as the General Manager of the District Industry Center. Her work focuses on industrial cluster development, overseeing engineering and ceramic tiles cluster, and providing hand-holding support to startups. She is instrumental in policy formulation, facilitating statutory clearances, and managing high-impact financial grant schemes like PMEGP and BSKP. Before her government service, Dr. Sen was a distinguished researcher and academician. She spent nearly 9 years heading R&D at Oxide Private Limited, where she led the development of advanced catalysts and adsorbents, including import substitutes for ISRO. An expert in chemical engineering, she holds a doctoral degree from NIT Durgapur with a specialization in arsenic mitigation through nanotechnology. This deep technical expertise, combined with her experience as a former head of department at an engineering college, allows her to mentor entrepreneurs with a profound understanding of technology, innovation and business scalability. Now we are honored to have you among us today. I would request ma'am to come on stage, and I would request Professor Rose to felicitate ma'am with the bouquet and a memento. The next speaker of the session will be Ms. Priyanka Tarafdar. Ms. Tarafdar is currently serving as Deputy Director at CAPEXIL, Kolkata, with over 15 years of experience in export promotion, international trade, and industry coordination. She has developed strong expertise in stakeholder management, export facilitation, and policy implementation. Before joining CAPEXIL, she worked as a Senior Executive Officer at EEPC India and earlier held roles as merchandiser with Kariwala Industries Limited and export executive at Aquarius Marketing Private Limited, where she was extensively involved in buyer coordination, export documentation, order execution, production planning, and logistics management. Ms. Tarafdar holds an MBA in International Business from the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, New Delhi, and a master's degree from the University of Calcutta. She's known for her strong interpersonal and coordination skills and has worked closely with exporters, foreign buyers, government bodies and industry stakeholders across sectors. Ma'am, it is a pleasure to have you among us today. I would like to call ma'am on stage and requesting Professor Rose to felicitate ma'am with a bouquet and a memento. Last but not least, the next speaker of this interesting session will be Ms. Sonam Kasera. Ms. Kasera is the Chief Executive Officer of Kamrup Tea Company, a prominent enterprise producing high-quality tea annually from ISO certified estates in Assam. Under her leadership, the company has successfully balanced traditional craftsmanship with modern market demands, focusing on sustainability and innovative packaging tailored for both demographics and Gen Z consumers. A graduate of the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, she has transitioned the business into a global player, exporting premium single origin teas to more than 30 countries across the B2B and B2C sectors. Beyond her corporate responsibilities, Ms. Kasera is a highly influential advocate for the Indian tea sector and trade policy. As a board member of the Federation of Indian Export Organizations, she actively represents the industry on national and international platforms, providing expert insights into fiscal matters such as the impact of GST on export profitability. Her commitment to empowering others is further evidenced by her involvement with the She Trades India Hub, where she works to bridge the gap for women entrepreneurs in the global trade landscape. Ma'am, it is a pleasure having you here. I would like to invite ma'am on stage and also request Professor Rose to felicitate ma'am with a bouquet and a memento. This session will be moderated by none other than Professor Elizabeth L. Rose, also affectionately known as Professor Beth. Professor Beth is the Research Chair Professor of Strategy and Entrepreneurship at IIM Udaipur. Her research explores various aspects of how firms internationalize with a particular focus on smaller firms and those from emerging markets. Widely published, she is a Fellow of Academy of International Business, AIB, and the Australia and New Zealand International Business Academy, ANZIBA. She received the award for service to the global community from the Academy of Management's International Management Division in 2024. She was WABI's Woman of the Year in 2019. Professor Beth has held leadership roles in several professional associations. In the AIB, she served on the board as Vice President for Administration. She has been Secretary-Treasurer of the AIB Fellows and is currently a member of the AIB Africa Task Force, while serving on the board AIB and the Emerging Markets Special Interest Group. She has chaired the Academy of Management and International Management Division and the Strategic Management Society's Global Interest Group. Additionally, she has served as President of ANZIBA and the Association of Japanese Business Studies. Professor Beth was the founding co-editor-in-chief of the Academy of Management Collections and is deputy editor of the Academy of International Business Insights. She is also on the senior editorial team of the Journal of International Business Studies. Ma'am, it is a pleasure to have you among us here. And without ado, I would like to hand over the session to you. The session is yours.
For all this introduction, and I don't know about you, but I am completely blown away to be sharing the stage with you people. This is, listening to your bios, I'm in awe. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. I know it's the end, we're getting towards the end of the conference, so thank you everybody for being in the audience. Huge thank you. You are just in time, sir. To Professor Rangarajan and Professor Raghu for arranging, for contacting the amazing women on this panel. We just had lunch together, and this is going to be fun. We have, what, 5-6 hours? We're going to need it. No, we won't keep you 5 or 6 hours, I promise. I'm delighted that this session, it's just a bit of a plug for Women of the AIB, is sponsored by Women of the Academy of International Business. WAIB was the first special interest group for the Academy of International Business. We're going to be celebrating our 25th anniversary, I think within the next year or so. I'm really honored to be on the board of WAIB, and you guys are just amazing. You're the most remarkable representatives for women in business and policy, and I can't wait to get the word out about this panel on social media. Okay, we were originally going to talk a lot about DEI, but I think we're going to give our speakers quite a bit of free rein, because each and every one of them has fascinating stories to tell, and each and every one of these women is doing tangible work to raise the profile of women in this country. So, DEI, and representation in general, it's a hot topic, made somewhat hotter by the geopolitical stuff we've been talking about yesterday. Apologize, I have an American accent and I'm not proud of that these days, sorry. It's not a new topic, but it's one that's being very much talked about at the moment, and quite frankly, the implementation is quite different, I think, quite distinct here in India. And India's been working on this at the government level, especially for a very long time. And so I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys all think. I sent questions sort of like, what does DEI mean to you? The point was raised during lunch that it's kind of a Western concept, so maybe that's not what we need to be talking about. But I'd love to hear your views about how you feel that India is doing in general with respect to giving wider access to women, to people who are historically underrepresented in business and in government. So, should we start with you?
Now, we talk about DEI. For everyone, DEI is kind of a policy. But being a woman entrepreneur myself, I would say DEI is it's not about just a policy. It is something which we as an individual need to practice every day, especially in the context of being a woman. Well, I feel that I come from an industry, I come from the tea industry, which depends majorly on women, but the participation of women is mainly confined to the field operations, not on the key managerial roles and nor on the decision making. In my organization, we have 80% women being employed who are not only involved in this field in the production side, but we have women tea tasters, we have women tea buyers, we have women tea procurers who buy from the electronic auctions, who participate in trade exhibitions. We have women who are also there in shipping and logistics, and to provide them, we also have a kind of hybrid kind of work atmosphere wherein people who are married, who have smaller children, they are given an option to work from home, to have flexible timings. We also promote them, by even if they are staying far away, we provide them conveyance facilities. So at the end, what I feel that, it's just about that we as a woman, we have to break the glass ceilings by ourselves. It's just not that we will say that, okay, we have to do this. We all have to come together as one and make women inclusive. And not even about women, I say people from all castes, from all creeds, everywhere, we have to have inclusivity. And lastly, I would just like to say that I feel that, this has to be a matter of inclusion, because if we practice inclusion every day in all aspects of life, if we help every woman rise, at the end the society also rises. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. What Ms. Kasera has already said, I just wish to add few introduction on the DII, today's topic, that business performance, talent acquisition, and social and legal databases. So for business performance studies like McKinsey, they have suggested that diverse terms are more innovative and perform better financially because of they can avoid group thinking. Talent acquisition, nowadays younger generation like most popular Gen Z and millennials, they often prioritize companies' culture on top of, they can think that where they are going to work. So they prioritize the culture over the money, the remuneration they are getting. The number 3 is social and legal databases. Recently, DEI has become a prominent political and legal frictions. Some critics argue it can lead to the reverse discrimination on prioritized identity over the merit, leading some companies to their rebranding their program as belonging or culture and talent. In 2026, India's relationship with DEI is a fascinating crossroads. While it has moved beyond being a Western import, where the checklist will be, the HR's checklist will be the DEI, rather addressing Indian social hierarchies rather than just following global thing. So this is my introduction. I'll come back later on the later part where how industries are doing. I'll be speaking on that. Thank you.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to take part in this panel. Distinguished guest, panelist on the dais, Madam Professor Rangarajan Shumona, I know them very well, and all other professors sitting here. I was just going through the Google and I was amazed to see that actually from childhood we started about India one word, that India is unity in diversity, it's our beauty. So what is the difference between when we talk about USA and in India? So first thing is that we have 121 languages, out of which 22 scheduled languages in India. So you can imagine we are having a strength of 142 crores in India. Second is that we have 4.6 million caste and subcaste, another diversity. We have 2000 different ethnicity, out of which scheduled tribes are 705 in India. And apart from all these, other things are there, but another thing is there that we economically also we have huge diversity. It is called that 90% of our wealth is with 10% of higher strata and only 10% with the rest 90%. So you can imagine the big, very long stretch where everything is diverse. So when we talk about diversity and then equity and inclusivity, then we must think that where we should focus. Here I mean, we mean the government, because it's very easy to raise a finger. If something is not happening, government is not doing that. Everywhere, everywhere where you go, this power cut, government is not doing. Train is late, government is not doing. So we are at that part of where everyone is accusing, government is not doing. But I was just thinking, after getting this invitation, I was literally, tell me very frankly, I was not very aware about what is DEI and what whole world is thinking about. But when I just Googled it and I thought, oh, that's what we do actually. Oh, that is there. So now, everywhere, this last week, I am giving you one example. I was attending one engineering congress conference in Udaipur. where all over India few women came, 13, 15 women engineers, they came. So when we entered this type of auditorium, we saw we 15 are only there, no spectators. So that is why when we talk about diversity, when we talk about inclusivity, where women stand, that is also there. I was just trying to ask you, I saw your designation that association is Foundrymen. So you know, so that is this name itself shows where we stand. So I think I don't want to be very feminist, but the thing is, lot of diversity is there in India, and keeping in mind this diversity, we need to give opportunity. Again, I mean to say not equal opportunity, because all are not at the same level. So if you are providing opportunity equal for all, that means you are not doing justice to the person who are actually at the back end. Maybe it is caste-wise, maybe it is economically backward, maybe it is LGBTQ or anything, any very minor ethnicity or something. So government, when we think from the chair of the government, we should think what facility or what benefit, opportunity we should provide, or we should make some policies and implement that. That is main thing, not the policy or the act. The implementation part is the main thing. What we should do so that ultimate effect will be equal to all, and we can say that we have this proper inclusivity. And definitely also that we should create an environment where everyone can say what he wants to speak, which is, I don't know whether it is a platform to say that. All over world you see the right to speak is shrinking day by day. That's very alarming situation. Thank you.
Good afternoon and thank you so much. I'm indeed honored to be part of this distinguished panelists, and definitely very grateful to IIFT and their professor for inviting me to this panel discussion. Now, I was hearing what Sonam and Priyanka and Dr. Moshe was talking. Now, definitely during lunch also we had a discussion on this point. Even I would like to add on to what you had said, that DEI in India, the particular word has come in hands with the Western templates. In India, it is basically unity and diversity, and we have so much diversity. Now, if we talk about DEI in organization, I am rather a living example of that in my organization. FIEO, the organization I'm representing, is the apex body of all the exploration councils in the country and the commodity boards, and we have more than 35,000 members all over the country. Now, we have 4 regional heads all across the country, and I'm the only woman regional head heading the eastern region, and I'm heading 11 states in the country. So you can understand my organization's efforts. Not effort is part of our organization culture to have women. We have 5 women in our board, and Sonam Kasera is one of that women in the board. Not only that, we have also a woman representative from the northeast part of the country, which is usually a part we don't give much of a thought. So, if we only talk about this cliche, the very concept which has come from the Western, DEI, as Madam was saying, Dr. Shri, this is more of intangible verticals that we talk about. When we talk about inclusivity, when we talk about equity, when we talk about diversity, we also have to not only talk about things which can be measured. These things which we are talking, they're all quantified, they're all being measured. But DI is a concept which I feel runs more on the intangible verticals than tangible verticals. If today we 6 or 7 of us sitting out here, it is not only because of the quantification, the acronym of a DI, it is because of the intangible support which has brought us over to this table when we are talking, sharing our thoughts. For me, DEI is basically an intangible aspect which we need to talk about. Thank you. Hi, good afternoon everyone. It's always good to be back here, though I'm from Delhi campus, but I've done my MBA and I'm passed out of 2002, but I always feel more attached to this campus, so thank you for this opportunity. I think when we are talking about diversity, equality and inclusion, I think the first question that we need to ask is why DEI? Why do we even need to do, why do we need to even bother ourselves with this? So I think once we have the answer to that, maybe there is a lot of clarity which emerges. For me, the answer lies in the fact that, as ma'am has said, that we are a land of diversity. So unless and until we honor the diversity which comes from different genders, it may be because of ethnicity, language, caste, multiple other things. If we're not able to honor that diversity which is present in India across globe, I think we are not honoring the human potential itself. So I think that's the first thing. Coming from a corporate, from Tata Steel, why do the corporates need to bother about DEI? Is because there are umpteen number of studies which have happened which states that having people of diverse backgrounds, and gender is just one of them. There's a lot of discussion about women, but there's multiple other identities, multiple other groups which exist. There are people with disabilities, there are transgenders who also need to have an equal voice and equal opportunity to be present in the system for them to really realize their potential. So I think the DEI it doesn't matter where this concept has come from. I think today we see that India has adopted it much better than let's say US. US has, after Mr. Trump coming into power, US has actually been backpedaling on the whole DEI agenda. If you've seen the news, and the idea here is not to criticize US or what's happening there.
Criticize. It's fine.
No, it's just to say that India, because of the strength that we have in our culture, while it is a foreign concept at some point in time, but it has been adopted very well. The only challenge that we see is that the adoption or implementation of DEI agenda across organizations, across society is uneven. It is not even, and that is where really the work lies for all of us, that how do we take this agenda ahead, because there are obviously a lot of opportunities, a lot of good work which can be done. But this is a concept which is here to stay, and I think it's just the adoption which needs to be improved, both from the policy framework, whether it is at government level, whether it is at corporate level, and most importantly, actually, and the most difficult part for me, is the change in the mindset of society. Right? I think that's one of the biggest challenges. While of course we can always blame government, this has not been done, that has not been done, but government is there to make the policy, implement the policy. The adoption of that lies with all of us in our individual capacity. And I'll probably maybe during the course of the rest of the discussion, I would like to touch upon some of the examples, but thank you once again for this opportunity.
This is a very, very pertinent topic, I feel, still now, sitting on 2026, because as you were mentioning, madam, that our institute's name is Institute of Indian Foundrymen. So 4 or 5 foundrymen, they actually assembled together and they dreamt of this association, and it started from Kolkata. It is, I think, one of the very few associations who are still based out of Kolkata, headquartered in Kolkata, All India Association. But yes, it is still, the name is Foundrymen, but Dr. Shashi Paja, our Honorable Minister of Industry, she also came and she said, you have an ADED, so why don't you change the name? And also now I am seeing that, we are seeing that, the second generation, the daughters of the industry, the Foundrymen, they are coming into the business. And they are running, it is efficient, it is very, very efficient, if not more than their fathers. They are growing it. So we are planning to change the name to Institute of Indian Foundries. But yes, there are some protests also still now that we cannot, there is some sentiment attached to it. So you are planning to do it. And when you are talking about engineering industry, you know, it is a very, very lopsided view. Like engineering, we know 20 to 30% still now women enrollment in engineering. And if you see mechanical engineering, which is the core engineering, which is the base of Foundry, that is 5 to 10%. And after finishing, after completion, how many of them stay in the core industry? Hardly any. Because you know, the boiler that is in the foundries, it is very, very hot. We call it 3 Ds, dark, dirty and dangerous. We used to call it. But now it is changing because of the green business. It is the mandate for business from our Indian industry also. We have the Bureau of Indian Standard. Now we are strictly following up. There is the qualitative restriction, qualitative standard that we have to follow, and we are hand-holding the industry to basically make it more green, more environmental friendly. And nowadays with AI, with automation, now what is happening, people don't have to actually be in front of the boiler. It can be seen in the screen. There are glass windows on the top of it. From there you can see whether the workers are working. So the scenario is changing, I must say. And in the boards, yes, now because of the MCA regulation, that in the board there should be women participation. So in the boards, women are, they are joining. I am in the board of Indian Iron and Steel Sector Steel Council, that is under National Steel Development Corporation. So we are having representatives from all over India, and we are having women participation. But when we see not about board, but in the top positions in the organizations, we see that women generally don't make to the top. Why? Are they not capable? Are they not intelligent enough? Are they not industrious enough? No, it is not that. Because there are a lot of family pressure. I have seen that, I have seen in my organization, I have long worked in CII. We had Indian Entrepreneur Network, IWN. So we used to talk about it, that whenever there is a crisis at home, for children still the fathers are there. But nowadays, at least in our society, but when it is about elderly parents, it's very, very difficult. People are taking women are taking a break. So I ask, whenever I take an interview and I see there is a break, why you have taken a break? Oh, madam, my mother-in-law was unwell. So I said, did your husband take a break? No. So we have this mindset, that this is only women's duty to support the family. And whenever we are talking about now in the labor code, see that child care leave, it is only for women. Why? Only for giving birth you need a mother, not for bringing up a child. So unless this is changed, this mindset in the family, whatever scheme count is there, it will not be helpful.
Just to add just one line, the challenge that we have is that women have assumed the role of a breadwinner, but men haven't assumed the role of a caregiver. That's where there's a disproportionate challenges or the burden or the responsibility which lies with women, and thereby they're forced to, let's say, take certain decisions about their career, which men are not, are supposed to do.
I would like to add over here the word basically being a care economy, caregiver. We women have been always been a primary caregiver, come what may. Come what may, we women are the primary caregiver in the family. And one more thing, the challenges, as you said, was mindset, definitely. I'll give you a very living example. I think many of us will be accepting that if I give that example. For example, if after the entire day, I reach home at 8 p.m. in the evening. My male counterpart is also reaching at 8 p.m. in the evening. At 8 p.m. to 9:15, rather 9:30, I am taking care of the family work, the daily mundane work which I have to take care of, the family responsibilities. And the male counterpart, maybe by 8:15, 8:30, he's sitting in front of the television watching the TV. Or rather, if he's industrious enough, he is devoting time for self-learning and development. Now, from 8:30 to 10:30, he's doing the self-learning development portion and forgetting the TV portion. Now, that woman, 8 to 9:30, she is devoting to household work. 1.5 hours every day. 2 hours for the male counterpart every day, devoting to self-learning. 10 hours a week, a man is giving for self-learning and development. Where is the woman? She is losing 10 hours every week. So that's one reason I said DEI is not something to be quantified. It's something, an intangible vertical which we have to look deep down. That 10 hours, nobody has quantified. That men took the lead of 10 hours and the woman stood behind. She had tried to make up for the time, but she was not able to. When she goes back to the office, the man has already climbed 2 steps ahead of that woman. And the woman has to give her 2 times, 3 times more to prove her efficiency. Nobody had quantified that she had given so much time in her life to do all these things. I think everybody in the panel will be acknowledge this particular thing which I shared.
I have a different angle to this, another quote I would like. Sharing my personal experience. Now, I come from one of the communities in India, from Rajasthan basically, wherein a woman has a set age to get married and she has to choose whether she wants to study or whether she chooses a career or whether she chooses a domestic life. Now, coming into my role, in my family, it's only my parents. We talk, as Amita and Juin talked about the presence of having a care economy. Now, that really helped me. Like, I am the only woman, female in the family who is not married as of yet. I have crossed the threshold age of getting married because I simply chose to focus on my studies and to join the family business. But yes, I am indebted to the support which I got from my parents, from my institute, which is IIFT. I had faculties like who are my mentors, who are my parents, who always encouraged me and who never let me come through these pressures. So yes, there is, though we are still growing, but what is required is that mindset has to change. It doesn't come with degrees.
Yeah. On the contrary to what all negative waves we are going through, one announcement is that in West Bengal we have 33 lakhs of women enterprises, and that is highest in the country. Okay, and second thing is that we are all of these women which we are talking about, these 99.9% are micro industries, and this within this 99.9%, 99%, I don't know the exact percentage, but approximately are all rural enterprises. So now you need to learn that it's not always that if I am educated, I have done my PhD in chemical engineering, so I have this limelight. It's not that. If you go, I visited because of my government career. I used to visit all these rural areas, most rural area where even Toto cannot go. There also you go and you see all the women, apart from the household job, they are taking out some time and they are preparing this sui dhaga, we call it, this embroidery work or something they are making. Pathetic is not that women are not empowered or entitled. They are trying. But now we need to question why women are coming into this business out of their own zeal, or such that she knows whatever her husband is earning, he will go to wine shop and use that money. But she is the mother and she cannot feed her children if she cannot earn, or she cannot tell her child that you go to school because her husband will not give that money. Our housemate, I keep on telling whenever they are with, we send your daughter to the school, everything. But you see, whenever they have to take a decision that out of two of my children, I have to take one out of this school, definitely they will choose the daughter. And believe me, I am just now telling the opposite side. It's not doing anything good for the men also. Why? Now if you go, we cannot talk about the 10% always. We need to look into the bottom 10%. Now you go, the situation now in India is that there is no job. We all admit to that. Everything, AI, automation, everything, these jobs are shrinking. So definitely, till date, as a father of a daughter, he has one option. I will give my daughter to get married and she will settle. But as a father of a son, he knows and the son knows, I am the person. I cannot run out of this responsibility. If I earn only 5,000, I may not get married, but I have to feed my old parents. That is also there. So I mean to say that it's not that if you are taking, pushing behind half of your HR, that lady, so that means you are also pushing yourself also to the backward. We always take, whenever we talk, we always take name of Rabindranath Tagore. So we have lot of poems regarding that. That tells that don't keep me on the head, don't keep me below your feet, but just keep me beside you. So that is, whenever we do anything positive, it comes always in the win-win situation. It's not always that micro section or marginal section is the woman. It's not always that. There are religions are there who are marginal. So their voice we are not unable to hear what they are telling. Madam very correctly said, you said that we have to respect all the ethnicity. We have to respect their culture. We have to respect their way of working. Few days back, actually West Bengal is now doing some, Professor Rangarajan knows that some logistic World Bank is, or Asian Development Bank is giving some loan, so that we have to plan our logistics plan. So these roads, everything. So there one part is that how this logistic or whatever thing we are planning, how it is going to affect the industrial growth, how it is affect the women's section of this thing. So the lady who has taken that part, she came to us. So she was talking to me. I said, she said that what you want, what facility one woman entrepreneur or one woman worker should have in any industrial workplace or something, that so that she can go out. It's not always, as Jewish very correctly said, that we are unable to progress. Though I contradict you again for my with my own case. I have done my MTech, and I always tell that my son, instead of listening to lorries, he used to listen to my mass transfer and heat transfer theories. So that is there. Then I did my PhD. So definitely family support is also there, and it's, again I will tell, it's not the family support. It's obviously family support should be there, but it's what you have inside that. If I have to do, I have to do. So in all section, not even only for women, for men also, for students also, because you see a lot of students they are sitting here with pale faces. They hear kya ho raha hai, all these women are speaking against us. It's not like that. It's that whatever work you want to do, you have to be very focused, and to get anything, something, you have to sacrifice something else. So if you choose that I will go to the beauty parlor, then I will get married, then I will go to Greece for honeymoon, then your future will be like that only. After 10 years, husband will tell that you go sit and you feed my children, that will be there. So every woman also and every man also should always think that it is actually human resource. If we look as just human being and it's human resource, that human resource is for the development of the family, the society, the country and the world, then there won't be any problem. As I do believe this, and there come the, we can tell that yes, we have inclusive growth. That is
So we have already learned the debate between male versus female. Now can we please diversify a little between academics and what exactly industries are doing. So I will give few examples of 4 industries under the purview of CAPEXIL. CAPEXIL is Chemical and Allied Product Export Promotion Council, and we have few prominent industries. I will be talking about mineral sector, auto tire and tube sector, ceramics and wood industry. All these sectors are male dominated. And for the mineral sector, I would like to say, initially it was male masculine power dominated because in the mines, down the mines, there was restriction for female. So nowadays there is a lift of that particular restriction, and now females can go deeper into the mine and they can work over there. You will agree to that because you are also in the procurement sector. So this is number 1. Number 2 is the underground. What I was talking about, the underground revolution for women. So number 1 point is regulatory breakthrough, which I have already spoken. In 2019, that restriction has, with Government of India has withdrawn that restriction, and now they have come up with newer occupational safety, health and working condition code, which has finally hit the entire mineral sector. Coming to the next point, that is Vedanta effect. So the companies like Vedanta and Hindustan Zinc have introduced first cohorts for women in underground mining, with some of reaching, the women are reaching 22% gender diversity in the ratio. 22% women can work in the mining sector. All woman team. So now these companies are creating a team where all the women will be driving the mining sector and no men will be allowed in that group. I'm really very sorry having most of the audience from the male gender. It's a bad news for you. So coming to the next point, which is digitalization and inclusivity tool. So heavy machinery image of mining sector has remote control, where safety-based controls are there, where women can sit in a AC room having joystick in their hand and can operate. Madam has also mentioned about that thing, that foundry is also a male-driven sector, but still women are working over there in that extreme climate. So this is also true for mining sector as well. And that has already been open for those who are disabled, people with disability and differently abled person. They can also use that joystick to operate in the mining sector. Coming to the next point, that is license to operate in the indigenous inclusion. Globally and in India, mining companies are realizing that they cannot grow further without the permit of having social equity. So community partnership. So there's a shift from charity to equity. There's a term nowadays, it's very much coming up, which is charity over equity. I'm not going deeper into that because speakers are there who will be speaking on their industry. So the second industry is auto tire and tube. I'll take few examples of C8 Tire and Bridgestone. They are the market leaders. They have also included few policies in their company, which is they have included menstrual wellness leave and support for returnees. Ma'am has already mentioned that you have faced this thing, that you have questioned your, you have interviewed a few people, those who have said that, yes, I was taking care of my family and that is why I was absent from my job. So the companies like C8 and Bridgestone, they have introduced this thing and they are encouraging those who are returning from their the gap. Coming to the localization of DEI. In India, I'll just read it out, please do not mind. In India, the tire companies are looking at the diversity through social equity, social equity lens by way of regional and social economic diversity. There are conscious efforts to hire underserved geologies like Ladakh, Northeast, urban pocket of Dharavi. Ma'am is from Bombay, so you can enlighten on that people, those who are living in the areas of Dharavi, how they are employed, and women there, and not only women, the other genders as well, how they can be within that limelight. As also LGBTQ inclusion. Bridgestone has introduced the Global Human Rights Policy in their framework, and Smart Factories 2000, Industry 0.4, that is the term, they have included all these other genders into their industry. So this is from this thing. And I have two more, that is ceramic industry in the Morbi hub. We all know that for the ceramic industry we have a very big hub, and more than 90% of the US exports is going from Morbi. They have included female as artisans, and also, I mean, in the ceramic industry we have also seen it's a masculine driven industry, but still they can, they have included women in their sector. And there is a term called Industry 4.0 software, where they have given chance to the women and the persons, those who are from the backward classes, to learn the safety gears and everything in their local languages. So inclusion of local languages are also there, which has helped a lot for those people, those who are coming from the backward classes, and the women, those where they are not educated enough to understand English or other foreign languages, they can learn in their own language. And lastly, the wood and plywood industry. Yes, of course, the mass timber. They have also introduced, they have breaking the myth of masculine driven industry. So if you think women in timber movement, there is a movement in by 2026, global conferences and networking group are actively rebranding forestry and plywood manufacturing as the tech-driven STEM career rather than muscle-based one. Economic leveling in plywood mills and mills, they have introduced automated vinyl peelers. We have all seen in our childhood and nowadays also that carpenters are peeling this timbers, and it's very strength. I mean, we need a very good strength to peel that timbers. But nowadays it is all remote controlled, and women can work in that particular sector as well. So this is all from my end for the industry specific thing. So thank you so much.
Just one fact of industry I would like to add. Being from Bengal, now it is a moment of pride for us. Now the Calcutta Club, which is one of the most renowned and the oldest British club our city has for the first time has elected a first woman president in the 118 years. Ms. Kasturi Raha has become the first one to break the ceiling.
Yeah, coming to the industry's perspective, I would like to share that, as I mentioned, I introduced also, FIEO is the She Trades India Hub. Now, She Trades is basically a body of United Nations and WTO. They have a body called ITC, which everybody must be aware, International Trade Center, and She Trades is the body of ITC. It is basically a body which promotes women in international trade. Now, FIEO is the 20th hub of the She Trades India, and I am the head of this particular project in the country. Now, under this project, we are very proud to say that we have been able to bring quite a number of women entrepreneurs on board. We have been launched in the last year, February, March we were launched, and till now we have trained more than 1,000 women capacity building in international trade. Not only that, we have also been adjudged at the top performing free trade hub in the 22 hubs all around the world. I had attended the Free Trade Annual Conference in London last year, October, and FIEO Free Trade India Hub has been adjudged the top performing, top 4 in that. Not only that, is a very proud moment that how FIEO is working, the organization is working to how bring women in the international trade. But as we all are aware that we have signed India-UK CETA. Now in this India-UK CETA, there is one chapter, chapter 23, completely on gender equality, rather bringing women in international trade. FIEO has been working very closely on that, and the first time ever in the history, we are taking a completely women-led business delegation to UK in the month of February of 13 women. It is completely funded by FCDO government of UK. The first time, and they represent from different parts of the country. I would like to add one more thing, a very important area when we're talking about government policies. Government of India has a policy of public procurement. Now public procurement is an area which every country is working to bring in more and more women. In case of India, Government of India has a public procurement policy where they have earmarked 3% to procure from micro and small women entrepreneurs. I was very happy to share that by the August 2025, almost 2.82 procurement target has been completed. And FIEO is working, rather Free Trade India FIEO is working on policy advocacy to make it 10% in next 5 years. So this is how our institution, our organization is trying to help women to move more into international trade, to make them more aware that how you can reach the international market. Fine, there are challenges, but things have changed really in last 5, 6, 7 years. The challenges are there, but the opportunities there's a quantum jump in the opportunities nowadays for women entrepreneurs or women professionals or whatever it might be. As Motion Madam was saying, I would also like to add that as on 31st of January 2025, we have 90.90 lakh self-help women groups in the country. And also more to add on that, our organization has a portal called Indian Business Portal where we try to bring women on the digital platform, and we have more than 2,700 women who have already enrolled over there to harness the benefits of e-commerce for retail exports. Thank you.
When you were talking, actually when all of you have been talking, I'm rapt. This is so interesting. But it strikes me that there's been huge change in the past few years, that you ladies are all like pioneers. And it made me think of when I was young, which was like 10,000 years ago. Because back then it was really unusual to have women in engineering. But as you say, very few stayed in engineering. But I was trying to figure out why I ended up as an engineer, because it's not my strength. It wasn't that way. And I think it had a lot to do with family encouragement. My father was much more of a feminist than you would have expected, because he was actually really conservative most of his life. He had 3 daughters, no sons, He wasn't stupid. He figured girls could do anything boys could do. Why should he mow the lawn? But it made a huge difference, and it's not something I've thought about until way after the fact. So I think it's fascinating. We'd have been having a very different conversation 5, 10 years ago, and hopefully we'll have a very different conversation in another 5, 10 years. So are you guys optimistic about where this is all going?
Yes, it's optimistic.
Very much optimistic. We always say that behind every successful man there is a woman. But I think behind every successful woman there are a number of men. In my case, I will tell definitely it's my husband, and definitely few of the professors sitting right over here, and definitely the head of the organization of my organization, DG and CEO. Now, I would like to add to motion, ma'am. I have just completed last year, 2025, I completed my master's in public administration. I mean, from February 2019 to last year, I mean, continuous education, once again, a very big encouragement from my husband and Dr. Professor Sharma. I mean, you know, this is the role the men are playing for us. So behind every successful woman, there are a number of men. That's the reason we are sitting out here.
It is also called that behind every successful woman there is a maid. But yes, I also had this support. I am very, very grateful to Dr. Roychowdhury, my husband. I also did my PhD. I started my MPhil when my daughter was 2 years old. I was in Delhi without any family support other than my husband. So I used to attend classes, and my mother, who was another working woman, she went there before my admission test. So I took almost 10 years to complete my PhD, and it is because of my family support and of course the encouragement of my guides, so I could do that. And from the perspective of Government of India, there is a hope. We have several key schemes for supporting the women, like we have Samarth initiative, which provides 20% reserve seats in skill development, market assistance for exhibition, and 100% Z certification subsidy for women-owned MSMEs, focusing on capacity building and quality. We have Women Entrepreneurship Platform, Udyam Sakhi, network offering training, incubation, fundraising help, mentoring, and investors connects for the women entrepreneurs. Trade-related entrepreneurship assistance and development trade, a scheme focusing on developing entrepreneurial skills in non-farm activities for women's economic empowerment with various components. And we have several other schemes like Stand Up India scheme, subsidy benefits under MSME, like under Stand Up India scheme that provides loans from 10 lakhs to 1 crore to women and SC/ST entrepreneurs for setting up greenfield enterprises, and women-owned MSMEs often receive higher subsidies under schemes like PMEGP, marketing support and trade fair participation subsidies, and MSME ministry. And this is about government scheme, and what I'll again reinforce that the scheme first of all should come from the parents. Like when we are selling land for the education of our male child, we should do the same for our female child, for our girl child, for our princess, so that the princess actually can become the queen of her own, not as a wife of a king. And also when we are taking a loan for our son's education, so that we can take the loan for our daughter's education as well, as we have done, without just thinking about we have to take the loan for their marriage. So big fat marriage, they should earn on their own, and we should support their education.
So Professor Vic, on your question of, let's say for India or women for next 5 to 10 years, what does it look like? So I think my sense is that in terms of the numbers in education, the participation of girl child has improved significantly. It is not just the primary or secondary education. I think we do see a lot of changes where the girl child, a lot of money and effort is being spent. So I think there is a very good pipeline which has got created and which is further, getting a lot of emphasis. So I think that's a very good parameter that we see. The second is that the corporate level also, the number of policies which have been now put in place to support women, because it's women generally who go through a certain cycle in life of getting married, maybe sometimes leaving their parents' house, moving to a different country or different state or whatever, and pregnancy and all of that. So I think there are a lot of policy, from the policy environment itself, there's a lot of support which is being rendered. In fact, in Tata Steel, as I was talking about diversity, it is not only for women, but for men as well. So there's not only maternity leave, but actually parental leave. There's also a lot of support which is coming for LGBTQ, giving leave, childcare leave, and many other things. Even if there's a gay person who's adopted a child and all of that. So I think on the policy environment front, there's a lot of changes which are taking place. And third, very important aspect is that in our country, in 2013, we had the POSH Act, which is Prevention of Sexual Harassment, which I still see as one of the bigger issues that our company as in our country is facing, because while we will have very well educated women in the company, we also have a number of women who are contract employees, who are involved in housekeeping, security jobs and all. And the challenges that they face is very, very different than the educated upper strata. So I think the judiciary itself is giving a lot of emphasis on how these POSH related complaints are being handled. So there's a lot of policy environment which is giving support to make sure that women get their rightful dues. And also I think in terms of the society also, there's a lot of change I also observed that men are the kind of support that they are rendering and the role that they are taking up, where just because you're cleaning a dish or cooking something is not looked down upon. I think there's a lot of role reversal which is happening, but as I always say, India is a country of contrast. So we have this and we have something else also. It's going to take time, but at least I feel that we are in the right direction. So, and the pace of change, once it gains momentum, the change happens much more quickly. I think I'm really hoping that next 5 to 10 years from that perspective will be very, very different and very good for the country and for people of all groups in overall basis.
I just want to add, as ma'am said, that whether we are optimistic or not, that within next 5 to 10 years, what we see. Actually, let me ask any male person in this house, anyone just opt to stand and tell something about this disparity and what women deserve. Anyone? Please tell me. Okay, so giving a chance to the younger one. Okay. You tell me.
Good afternoon, panel. I'm Santosh. I'm first year MBA at IIFT here. Recently, today in the morning, I've received a report from one of my colleagues. She is currently working in Accenture Strategy. She has shared her views based on her experiences with the corporate in the terms of sustainability. So, which is another buzzword which is co-parallel to this DEI. So, one of the harsh truths was that until unless sustainability is shown as a risk rather than as an obligation, it is not taken seriously in the boardroom. It doesn't even enter the boardroom. So can we draw parallels to the diversity, equity and inclusion with sustainability too? Until and unless it is shown as a risk of losing out, the opportunity cost of losing out the 50% of the workforce as an human capital, which is very essential for the firms, until and unless then it won't be taken seriously. Is that true? This is my first question.
Very, very good. So what is your opinion, what we should do, or you, as your fellow student of IIFT, what you want to tell everyone, especially your this male part, what they should take some actions or something so that there will be equality?
I think, ma'am, it is more structurally in terms of poverty also. Let me compare a couple of scenarios. First scenario is a girl child and a boy child in a poor family, where the boy child is given more preference due to some reasons, social reasons, And when you compare the same boy with a girl from an upper or high income group, that girl child has relatively more time and means to grow rather than this boy child, because he might have to do a part-time job along with his studies. So there is a disparity in terms of income also, in terms of accessibility to education. I feel that this could be ameliorated through quality education, not just access to education, quality education to create that bargaining power so that they don't lose out on the human capital. So the firm should not lose out on the human capital.
Very good. Thank you. We should all of you deserve a clap. I just wanted to tell ma'am, see, if these questions would have asked 10 years before, I fear anyone could have raised his hand. So now the younger person, he also understands that it actually helps the entire society. So that now I am giving in 92-96, after completion of my BE in chemical engineering, we went to Philips Carbon. You know one Goenka company, Philips Carbon, they manufacture carbon black. So I stood third in our batch. So naturally I was expecting that they will give me. So we three cleared the written exam, then this Viva, everything. So in the interview board, the person who took our interview, he said that actually you are very good, but you know, the wave of our company doesn't go hand in hand with the lady. So it was the situation in 92, 96, 95 I think that campus interviews are going on. So I didn't get that opportunity. And then this, then next 10 years my entire career was only fight in an industry, that catalyst industry, everywhere. That employer who employed me, he gave me opportunity to go and complete my MTech. Every day I used to take first 1.5 hours. I went to NIT Durgapur to complete my coursework. Then I used to go to the factory. So as I took 1.5 hours break in the morning, so I had to stay 1.5 hours in the evening. So I used to leave the company at 7 when earlier the rest 5:30. Then I used to go to my home, and there my baby was then 1 or 2 years. So this is how I made my journey. And in our class, it was out of 375 students, we ladies were only 11. Okay, so we used to tell that now when we meet in the reunion, we tell that all the male persons, they know us. Oh, you are Moho, you are Kumkum, like that. But we hardly know you are which branch, you are in mechanical, oh, I think you are in hall 2. I just, a few days back, I went to my college and I said there are 4 girls hostel individual, and there are, I think, more than 1,000 girls students in the engineering in different branches. So things are getting changed. We are seeing that until and unless you are pushing half of your community backward, you are the person who is the loser. So definitely that is why we are optimistic. But matter doesn't end here. We always say that if we have economic power, if we go and doing some job or business, we are earning money. So this is our women empowerment. But matter is not limiting to there. You ask any of earning person, Indian women, who take the decision of the earn money that you earn in your family. 99% will tell that I can take, but actually I don't understand all those financial matters. My husband takes that decision. So matter now comes to that end. I am earning the money, and after 30 days, I am just, it is not only the male partner's fault, it is pampered wife's fault also. She thinks that no, I don't understand, let him decide. Let him drive the car, let him go for market, let him take the hold of my money, my earned money. Then after 10 years, I will blame him that my husband didn't allow me to do some expenditure for my parental house. So that is also there. So actually what he very correctly said, we actually don't need formal education. We need to change education that can change our mindset. I always give all of us, we watch Prime Video, Netflix, everything. So whenever there is a US series and thriller series, but my concentration is, oh, that husband is making the sandwich, that husband is getting the children to take bath, and I tell my husband, see how they were. And his wife is going, she is a police officer, she is going out, her husband is running with the sandwich, you please take the sandwich and go. So, then country is there that I'm not telling that in US everything is equal, I know that, and some series is also there like that, but still I have some benchmark. That country is having another benchmark. So it is a continuous process of progression where I am much scared, not because how women are held behind the men. Rather, I am much scared that we are all over the world, we are losing the right to speak. That is, I think, more vulnerable than this female versus male process, because as he very correctly said, it's not always the debate between the male and the woman. It is also the economic difference. The economic difference. If I have a male servant in my house, he cannot shout on me because I have the economic power. So that is also there, and you know, day before yesterday's how power acts. So I'm sorry, but this is how power acts. So diversity is there, but inclusivity, to bring inclusivity, actually we need to learn, or we need to actually unlearn and then relearn. Everything, you just erase whatever you have learned and then relearn with a new focus. Thank you.
Santosh, if I may just add to your question on the board. So I think you mentioned about the sustainability. As far as DEI agenda also goes, see, the simple thing is what gets measured gets done. So if the board is not measuring what's happening in the company on DEI, I think a lot of changes will not take place. It's only once they start listening to whether it is the number of women in the overall workforce or the POSH Act. You know, are you listening to how many complaints did we receive? What did you do? What did you didn't do? And what action are being taken? Unless and until the board pushes through, it becomes difficult. Then, if it is left to the managerial personnel, many a times the short-term goals take precedence over the long-term difficult things. And another thing, you know, on a very simple example in Tata Steel, because somebody mentioned about the recruitment and all. So in Tata Steel, if I have to recruit somebody, let's say if I go to a campus or there is a recruitment that I'm doing or a promotion interview I'm doing within the company, if there's a female or a male candidate for that matter, I'm not supposed to be asking, will you get married? Or a female candidate, are you planning to get pregnant in next 1 or 2 years? Will you move to, are you locationally, you're mobile and all. So I think that's the kind of nuances which we, even as senior leaders in the company, are being taught just to make sure that within the interview process there is no discrimination. So I think a lot of these agenda items will get driven once it is institutionalized in a framework as a policy matter. On our own, sometimes there is a reluctance on people's part, and hence what gets measured gets done is where the difference start coming in.
Ma'am, I will share 2 anecdotes in a very lighter tone. 2 names which everybody in the hall must have heard the name of. First name is Geeta Gobina, when she took over IMF and hired a clear. So I was watching the news at that point of time, and her family is based in Chennai. So his father was asked a question, so how do you feel that your daughter has reached this level in IMF and all? Then he said, I'm very happy that my son-in-law has given my daughter this happy family at life that she can afford to give so much of time to the organization. Now another person is Indrani. Everybody has heard her name. A very small anecdote I would like to share, which I have read in her book. When she had become the president of PepsiCo, she had come back at home. It was around 9:30 in the night. It's one of my favorite stories, basically. When she came at home at 9:30, she had and her mother opened the door. And she said, Mama, I have a great news to share with you. Her mother said, your good news can wait. First go and get milk for home. Tomorrow there is no milk at home. She said, Mama, I mean, I have to share good news with you, so you're asking me to get a packet of carton of milk. She said, yes, because there's no milk at home. Tomorrow your children needs milk. So then she said that why don't you ask your son-in-law, my husband, when did he come home? He came here at 8. Then he was at home at 8 and why didn't you ask him? Then she said my mother didn't bus. I really had to go out at 9:30 in the night after arguing with her to get a carton of milk, and when I came back, I kept in the kitchen counter. I told her I was very upset. I said, Mama, you are aware that I have been nominated as the president of PepsiCo. And she said, her mother said, she was very blunt, she said, keep your crown in the garage. And it being the president of PepsiCo, Indra Nuri, an immigrant who had made the highest table in an MNC, her mother is blunt, saying that keep your crown in the garage. I think this is a fact of life, that we have to learn how to balance holding the highest table and also maintaining the family, because her mother told her, you might be the president of PepsiCo, but you being the mother, the wife and daughter of this house, nobody can play that role, which is also a fact.
So on a lighter note, that Indian movies, they are a great influencer for us. So nowadays we are getting great social message on equality also. Like there was a movie called Lapata Ladies, where it was asked, I was thinking why your mother has made you so foolish, that you don't know from where you are coming, you don't know anything about your address. So we also sometimes see that people, daughters, they are brought up in a very well-behaved manner, very polite, very gentle, but that should be how the boys should also be. And the daughters are not supposed to be the decision maker. They are not supposed to be dominating personality. If you are very dominating, then you are discouraged to do so. But if you are not like that, your parents, maybe they are missing the leadership quality in you. So that is one point. And now we just saw another movie, that Single Papa. So we have seen that single parenting that is being shown in the movie. So the society is changing. That is really, your fault.
Freewheeling and wonderful. So much. We need to get a picture.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Yes. We also
Window.
do something to say on inclusivity. Did you have instructions for? Okay, well, you go ahead and then we'll have a picture.
You can go there now.
Where do people go next? You want to be right here? Okay. Yes, there. Hey. Thank you so much. This was amazing, you guys. Thank you. I will.
Ladies, for such a motivating session. As rightly said, the challenges that women face in 21st century not only stems from societal pressure but also family pressure. Therefore, equity is more important than equality. However, evidence of changing landscapes in India can be found with some tangible as well as intangible support and policy implementation. And proper inclusion can only happen with these policy implementation and support from the society and the family. I would like to thank Professor Beth for smoothly conducting this session. I would request Professor K. Rangarajan to come on stage and share his thoughts.
I don't want to get into women panel and then give my thoughts and thinking and all. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Elizabeth for bringing this women panel into AIB, right, and making it happen in IIFT. And also I am equally thankful to all those successful women whom I was able to manage within 1 hour after we intimated that yes, we are going to have it. So I am really proud of showcasing all these people. Naturally, now you can understand that yes, we are for DAI, right? So and we will always be, you are asking whether you are optimistic or not. Yes, you are doubly optimistic, that is why you see all of them. Otherwise, probably it would have been some different kind of a show. With that, let me again thank all of you. Right, within a short notice, you people have come, and there are a lot of good thinking which has gone into it, and I hope we will be able to compile and put it into a proper document as a conference proceeding, so that this gets properly showcased. And I am also proud that I am from the same place of where Jhansi ki Rani and Chambal ki Rani both were there. So all the DEI and inclusivity were there at that time also. Thank you, and wish you all the best. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you everyone in the audience.